Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video is going to be my March book haul. In the month of March, I acquired over 15 books. I think I have 16 books to show you guys, and that is just ridiculous. But one of those reasons is because Book Outlet had this amazing deal in March. I think it was a 15% off plus free shipping, and so I couldn't ignore that. You guys know how much I love Book Outlet, and whenever they have deals like that, I always take advantage. I love books and I love buying books, even though I buy more books than I read, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and get started with my March book haul. Alright, so the first book that I got during the month of March is actually a book that I got towards the end of February, and I actually received this book for free from the author in exchange for an honest review, and it is Can't Buy Forever by Susan LaFoon. It is about this girl named Dessa, and it's set in the 1950s, and she lives like in this home, in this shelter kind of place, and there she meets this guy named Nicholas, and they kind of bond, and it sounds like it was something really cute, and I'm going to read it this month and review it sometime for you guys. Alright, and then the next book that I received during the month of March is actually another book that I received by the author in exchange for an honest review, and it is Cain and Abel by Jonathan Matos. And this book takes a spin on the Bible story of Cain and Abel, and if you're unfamiliar with that story, it is a story in the Bible based on two brothers called Abel and Cain, and they are making offerings to God, and God ends up favoring Abel's offering because Abel ends up offering to God the best that he has, while Cain just kind of offers whatever he has left. So obviously God does favor Abel's offering, and in return Cain ends up getting very jealous of Abel, and because of that he ends up murdering his own brother, and because of that Cain is branded and cursed by God, and he is exiled. And that is just the very basic of what the story is. There's obviously more to it, but when he told me that it takes a spin on the Bible story of Cain and Abel, it kind of really made me interested, and I'll read you a little bit of the synopsis that he sent me. And he said that it follows a boy named Dennis Cain who has a near-death experience, and he believes that God preserved his life for a reason. His dream is to cure his own muscle weakness, but it takes a backseat to his crush on a new classmate called Beth Michaels, and also because of an escalating struggle with a bully and hometown hero Jason Bell. And the book just explores the differences between ambition and obsession. So it sounded really interesting, so of course I said yes, and again I will be reading and reviewing this book for you guys sometime this month, hopefully. And then the next book that I got also in the month of March, I actually received an early copy of this book from NetGalley, and it is called The Traitor's Kiss by Erin Beatty. And I'm not 100% sure what the book is about. It is about a strong female character, and she wants to be a warrior instead of a bride, and that right there just made me really interested in the book. The book doesn't come out till May 9th, so I am planning to read this book this month and then put up the review either on May 9th or just a few days before. Alright, and then the next book that I got from Amazon, and it is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This is the Biblio Squad's book pick of the month for the month of April, and I'm so excited to read this book. I have heard a lot of great things about this book. I heard that Laini Taylor has a beautiful writing style, so I'm really excited to read her book. Even though I do have the Daughter of Smoke and Bones trilogy by her, I haven't actually read them, so this will be my very first Laini Taylor book. I don't know too much about what this book is about. I tried to read the synopsis, but it kind of made me really confused. So I am just gonna go into this blind, but I'm really excited to read it. And then the next book that I got also from Amazon is Across the Universe by Beth Rivas, and this is in the pretty cover before they decided to change the covers, but it is a sci-fi set in outer space, so I'm really excited. I have been trying to find a book that will give me the same experience that I had when I read Illuminate, which is also a sci-fi book set in outer space. I know this is obviously a very completely different story, but I'm really excited to just get into this book. I have been wanting to read more science fiction set in outer space, so as I said in a previous video, if you guys know of any books that has those two things, let me know down in the comments below because I would really love to check it out. But I'm really excited to read this book, and I absolutely love this cover. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Alright, and then the next book that I got was A Crown of Wishes by Roshani Chokshi. I always mispronounce her last name, but this is the continuation of A Star-Touched Queen, which I did read last year, but I ended up really loving that book. She has like a poetry kind of writing style, and I really enjoyed that. I felt like very whimsical. There were so many magical elements about it that I really enjoyed, and so I'm really excited to read this book. Alright, and then the next few books that I have to show you are all my book outlet haul. So the first book that I got from Book Outlet was Once Again by Liz Braswell and Cameron Doki, and I'm not 100% sure what the story is about. All I know is that this is a Snow White and Sleeping Beauty retelling. I haven't heard too many people talk about this book, so I will be going into this book completely blind, but because I'm currently reading the Lunar Chronicles, I'm kind of like really into fairy tale retellings right now. By the way, the cover is what really drew me in, and then I realized that it's a fairy tale retelling. I ended up deciding to get this book, and it was really cheap. I think I paid $3 for this book, so I don't regret it at all getting this book. Alright, and then the next book that I got from Book Outlet was Stealing Snow by Danielle Page. Danielle Page is the author of the Dorothy Must Die series, which I haven't read, but I heard a lot of great things about it. So this is a Snow Queen retelling, which I have never read before in my life, so I'm really excited to read this book. I have heard a lot of mixed reviews on this book, but as I said, I have been in kind of like a retelling kick lately, so when I saw this on Book Outlet, I decided to of course pick it up, especially because it was 15% off. Alright, and then the next book that I got from Book Outlet was Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. This is the first book in the Witchland series, and I have heard a lot of great things about this book. This book is very hyped up on BookTube right now. However, I have to say, I absolutely hate this cover. If it wasn't for BookTube saying that it's a great series, I honestly would never have picked it up otherwise, but because of the enthusiasm on BookTube on this series, I have decided to pick it up and form my own opinion. It's about these two witches. One is a truth witch who can tell when someone is lying, and the other one is a thread witch, which means she can see the connections between people, how they're connected in any way, and I think that's so cool. But as I said, I heard a lot of great things about this on BookTube, so I decided to go ahead and pick up the first book. Alright, and then the next book I picked up from Book Outlet was The Lifeboat by Charlotte Rogan, and when I saw this cover on Book Outlet, I thought it was just so pretty. And it is about this girl named Grace. She's 22 years old, and it's set in 1914. She and her husband are taking a voyage on this ocean liner, and something happens and they are now sinking, and her husband manages to grab a spot for her on one of the last few lifeboats, and she manages to escape, although I don't know if he makes it. And basically the story is about her and the other passengers on this lifeboat fighting the elements and making hard choices in order to survive. I thought it was really interesting, and it is not that long at all, so I'm really excited to read this book. And the next book that I picked up from Book Outlet was The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. I actually first heard about this book from Sasha from Bookatopia, and it's about a diabolic. I don't know if it's just his name or they're like species of some sort, but they are created to protect the person they're created for. They're supposed to kill and do anything and everything to protect the person that they've been created for, and it just sounded really interesting. I remember Sasha talking about this book, and it just really sparked my interest on reading this book. And then the next book that I got from Book Outlet was Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. Now, as you guys well know, this came out as a movie last month, and unfortunately I didn't get a chance to see it, but I will see it soon. And I read this book a long time ago. I read it while I was in high school, and I remember just really loving this book. I know that this book has some kind of like mixed to negative reviews, but I really loved this book. It is about this popular girl who dies during a night at a party, and she wakes up only to repeat that same day over and over again. She repeats that day 7 times, and during those those 7 days, she's trying to figure out how to break the cycle. But I remember really loving this book. I remember really crying during this book, and I have an ebook copy of this book, but I never had a physical copy. So when I saw it on Book Outlet, I took the chance to buy it. And then the next book that I got from Book Outlet was The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. You guys know that I'm terrible with names. I'm sorry. But this is the illustrated version by Mina Lima, and you guys know that I have a Beauty and the Beast book that is also illustrated by Mina Lima, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It is an interactive illustrated book of The Jungle Book, and when I saw this on Book Outlet, I was so happy because this book and then the Beauty and the Beast book and the Peter Pan book are the only books so far that Mina Lima has illustrated. So I'm really excited to have this book as well, and I hope she comes out with other books that she illustrates, and I think it's so gorgeous. And then the next two books that I got are two novellas in one of those series that is easily becoming one of my favorites, and it is Stars Above and Ferris by Marissa Meyer. These are the two novella books set in the Lunar Chronicles series, which I'm currently reading right now. I just finished Scarlet, and it was amazing, and so I decided to go ahead and pick up the novella books in the series. Alright, and then the final book that I got during the month of March was Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys, and I already read this book in the month of March and I loved it. It was just so well written. This is a historical fiction set at the end of World War II when the Germans issue a evacuation order for the German citizens because the Russians were closing in, and so the Germans in these stories, the citizens in these stories, they are heading towards these ships that will take them to a German island away from the Russians, and there's 4 different perspectives, and I love all of them. They're so good. When I bought this book was the day that the author came to Florida to do a book signing, so I bought the book there, and so she did sign the book for me. It is personalized. And there you go, guys. Those are all of the books that I got for the month of March. I think it's 16 plus books, I'm not sure, but obviously I have a huge book buying problem, but what else is new, and I'm totally okay with that. Anyway, guys, let me know down in the comments below if you have read any of the books that are mentioned and if you enjoyed them, and also let me know of any recommendations for sci-fi set in outer space. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All of my social medias are linked down below, including Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads if you'd like to follow me. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day and keep reading. Goodbye.